yesterday, June 10th, marked a day of both deep reflection and joyful remembrance, a day set aside to honor the legacy of a musical legend, a cultural revolutionary, and a true voice of the people. I'm talking about Ras Kimono, who was known across Africa and beyond as the rubber dub master. Ras Kimono used his lyrics as a weapon for justice, a bridge for unity, and a call for love. His music did more than entertain. It sparked consciousness, challenged oppression, and gave a voice to the voiceless. From the streets of Lagos to the reggae hubs of the Caribbean, his influence transcended borders and generations. As we mark the anniversary of his transition, we celebrate not just the man, but the movement he inspired. His signature style, his fearless stance, and his unwavering commitment to truth remains a symbol of resistance and pride.
Yeah, man. I hope in company to sing to this rhythm after seeing all was one in Africa.
Well, joining us now to reflect on the legacy and personal memories of our iconic father is Oge Kimono, artist, cultural custodian, and of course, Ras Kimono's daughter. Oge has been at the forefront of preserving his image and music, keeping the flame alive for future generations. Oge, thank you so much for joining us on this special day of tribute.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I know it was yesterday. We were meant to have you on, but thank you so much for being here. Just even listening to that song and thinking about your father, how does it feel to see his message still resonate so powerfully with fans both old and new?
Thank you so much, Shaitan and Ikenna, for having me this evening. Reflecting on my father's music, I would say it only shows me that his gift is divine, you know. It's not oftentimes that we have musicians who their music and their works leaves after them, you know. Kimono's message is evergreen, you know, and that is to go on to tell the world, you know, that reggae music is conscious music, and conscious music would always, you know, stand the test of time, you know, because it is consciousness, you know.
Okay, all right. I mean, 7 years on, the things your dad sang about, the ills of the world, society, still happens till date. Now, when you hear his music, when you listen to his, you know, message, he passed 3 songs, does it worry you that what he sang about still happens till date? Or does it make you, like, sad about the reality we find ourselves? Which one? Is it like, okay, you know what, my dad still lives through his music in this current time? Or you're just sad that, you know, what he sang about still happens till now? How do you feel when you listen to his songs?
It's actually both, you know. It's actually both, you know. It's worry for me, you know, that songs that have been sang in the 80s, you know, are still the issues that we're dealing with in 2025, you know. It's worrisome, you know, that things haven't seemed to get better, but it looks like things have deteriorated, you know, and that really saddens my heart. On the other hand, you know, it gives me succor, you know, that I have the privilege, you know, to at least hear my father's voice, you know, when I miss him, you know. So that is a privilege that I do not take for granted, you know. I mean, if I can't have him in the physical, at least I can hear his voice, you know. And his voice coming through his music, you know, just suits whatever pain, you know, or vacuum it is at the moment when I'm feeling it. Yes.
Talking about feeling a vacuum, what's one personal memory of your dad that always makes you smile, or let's say gives you strength? How was you at home, away from the stage and the spotlight? The Kimono that we know, I'm sure, is different from who your dad was to you. Talk to me about some of those personal memories.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I'm already cracking up because there's so many, you know. There's so many. My dad was a very mischievous man, you know. I was sharing with somebody yesterday, and I said, my dad is, you know, when people outside see him, they see that the artist, they see the composed man, but they don't see the mischief. Kimono was mischievous, you know, and we used to have wonderful times. I remember one of the time was it had started raining, and I said to him, I want to go and play in the rain, you know, I want to go and dance in the rain. And he says, okay, call me when the rain is heavy, you know. So the rain hadn't even touched the ground, and this man has gone off sleeping. So I went out to dance in the rain, you know, and he woke up just about the time when I walked in, you know, and he says to me, you are wicked. You know, he says to me, you are wicked. You know, you should have woken me up. I told you I went to play in the rain. I'm like, you're a grown-ass man playing in the rain. But yeah, you know, and there would be times that he would throw jabs at me, you know, and I'll get back at him. We had fun times. We used to go play snooker together. You know, he loved to play pool. He loved to shoot pool, you know. So that was definitely a hobby that we shared together, you know. And he was just he was that human, you know, that never hurts no one, you know. Kimono never hurts no one. Kimono is love. All he exudes is love, you know. And that was really rare, you know, with him, with someone like him, you know, because you would expect that a Kimono, you know, should be walking around with shoulder pads, you know, but he was humble. He was he was the common man. He mingled with the masses, you know. There was never an air of any sorts around him, you know.
All right, okay. I mean, talking about snooker, I would have loved to play your dad, you know, because I mean, myself, I don't say I'm good, but I think I'm okay. All right, so, you know, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with,
okay.
yeah, we'll continue with the interview, yeah. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. We still have Oge Kimono with us in the studio, and we stopped off at where she was telling us about how good her dad is at pool. And I said I wish I could take him on that, but I mean, I guess I'll take you on that, and you represent him.
Well, exactly. I was about to say that.
Don't worry.
I was about to say that would be epic.
Yes, I'll take it easy. I'll take it easy on you.
I'll be the referee, and I'm going to make sure I'm 100% focused.
Yeah.
Objective. All right then.
All right. So, I mean, how has it been, you know, for your family since he passed? Do you feel the industry and the nation that he represented, you know, your dad flew our flag so high. Do you feel like they've honored him enough or honored him well, in your own opinion?
Well, honored him well. Would I say honored him well? Well, yeah. You know, I mean, there is definitely that, will I say, slack, you know, when it comes to honoring and preserving the legacy of legends in the entertainment industry in our country, you know. And it's something that government can do better on, you know. It's something that the nation can do better on with, you know. And honoring people like my father, people like Fela, you know, people like Sonny Okosun, you know, people like Majek Fashek. These are people that Onyeko Wenu, you know, Christy Ese and Ibokwe. These are people that, you know, really brought in their quota into the entertainment industry. Without them, there wouldn't have been what we are enjoying right now. All of what we're enjoying right now, you know, actually started with the likes of these people, you know. And it would be nice, I mean, if the government would get involved in actually preserving, you know, their memories, immortalizing them in some way or the other. You know, in Los Angeles, we have the Hall of Fame. You know, how about in Nigeria, we having the Hall of Legends, you know, and you know, showcase them in such a way that it attracts tourism into our nation as well, you know. And the legacy of these people would keep living on, you know. So if government has done well, there is so much to do.
Yes. And you yourself have taken on the role of preserving his legacy. Can you tell us some of the things that you're doing to keep his message and music alive?
Yes, absolutely. Every June 10, you know, I come together with my family and friends. You know, it hasn't been, it couldn't have been what it has been over the years without the support of my father's friends, you know, family, you know, and his fans, you know. Every June 10, people rally around together, you know, and we put up a concert, we put up a lecture. This year, we're looking at auctioning a few of his personal items, you know, just to remind people of him. I'm sure there are fans out there who would like to get one or two items of memorabilia, you know, to have them as souvenirs, you know, to say, oh, I'm a fan of this man and I got this of his, you know. So that is what we're looking at doing this year. For the 5th anniversary, we had a very big concert in Asaba. We took it back to motherland where he's from, which is Delta State, you know. We went to the graveside, paid our tribute, you know, our respect to the man, you know, and finished it off with a concert, you know. And this year, this is what we're doing, and we're working on a website for people to be able to get access, you know, not just on site, but offline as well. I mean, having an online store sort of where people can actually get a piece, you know. So that is what we're working on this year.
Fantastic.
Okay,
well done.
all right. So just a last question for me before we wrap things up. Now, are there like unreleased songs of your dad that you have access to? And if you have those, what are, you know, your plans for it? Is there like at some point you plan to release them, maybe like as a collaboration with one of the new artists we have now, like, you know, posthumous music catalog that he has that you would maybe probably put out, you know, later on? What are your plans if there are those kind of songs? Or, you know, if there are not, are you guys open to maybe, like, you see how we have our new artists these days sort of collaborating with the veterans, the legends in the game? So can you talk to us about that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. We're open to collaboration, you know. Up until his death, Kimono was signed on to Premium Music, you know. So when he has to do with things like that, Premium Music handles it. However, his unreleased songs, which are in my, you know, possession, is definitely something that we are in the future going to look at on how to, you know, go about it. We're not in a hurry to put out anything yet, you know, but yes, we're looking towards that. We're looking towards that, and we're working towards a possible collaboration, you know, with somebody from the younger generation that could pass the message that it is he has in his music.
All right, then thank you so much for joining us on Arise 360 today, Oge. We appreciate you, and we'll continue to fly your father's flag and legacy on. Thank you so much.